What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. I want to take a minute and show you this weekend's projects. It's turned into I guess a 3-day project at this point. This is my buddy's freightliner. I've got his other tractor over here as well, doing some work on it. He's going uptown to get some parts. I can't really film this. He's here helping me, and I'm charging him by the hour, so I can't be really filming this. I mean, we're working, and I'm charging him. So anyway, he's going to get parts, so I want to show you guys what's going on here. He had a air leak. Wasn't building air pressure. Did some testing. It's the air dryer, or was the air dryer, was part of the problem. It was blowing air out of the purge valve on the bottom down there. Got the compressor off of it here now. It goes in here, and we're putting new coolant lines. There's one coolant line here. It goes here to the compressor head. One goes to the other side, goes up under the motor and goes over here to it. That's the fuel pump that mounts on the back of the compressor there. That compressor, when I pulled it off, you could just freewheel. It would just freewheel. It didn't have no, like a, it's supposed to be how you can feel it making compression on the compression stroke, and it just freewheels. You can spin it with your finger. But he couldn't get over about 80 pounds of air. And like I say, I connected shop air to the air hose here, going into the dryer, found the dryer bad, and got that all put on there and figured out we still couldn't get enough air. And he thought he was going to have a tow truck bring him in. It got so bad, but anyway, we got that. We're getting that all fixed up. I bent. We had to put a shift lever. I had to do some modifications to the shift lever in the truck. When we put that Super 10 transmission in here, that shifter was different last year, and he never did bother fixing it. So he wanted that done, so I had to bend the shifter. You can't see it now because I put the shifter boot and everything back in there. Had to bend that shifter up and get it done right. Another thing we had was had an exhaust leak, and I don't know if you guys can see this because it's way down in there. I don't think you'll be able to see it at all. But off the turbo here, you got your down pipe. It goes to a flex pipe up under the cab there, and there's a clamp. And that clamp had rotted off, so he was getting, he could smell exhaust fumes in the cab. So that's definitely not good. The other thing we got going on over here is I have his T495 New Holland tractor over here, and I got the dash out of it. It's laying on the floor there. It's not cooling very good, and he's had a slight refrigerant leak, freon leak. The evaporator core here is all clogged up on the back side. I'm not sure if you can see. This is your heater core in the front. That's the evaporator core in the back right there. Turn the light on there. You can see how clogged up that is. So we got to clean all that out. So that's what I'm working on now while he is gone. Well, supposed to be working on now while he's going to get parts, air compressor for the truck, but anyway, I'm doing a video, so. This is the new condenser that got put on because it wasn't cooling good, and his folks decided to just keep putting Freon in it because it wouldn't cool, and they blew the condenser up on the old one. I actually have it laid in the box over here. I'll show it to you. All right, there's the edge of the old condenser right there where it blew out. So yeah, I don't know how much Freon they actually put in it, but anyway. So anyway, that's what we got going on. That's the deal. The story is, I don't know if I've told this before or not, but it's my friend and his dad. They farm together, and then his uncle, which is his dad's brother, he don't really have anything to do with the farm as much, but he kind of, I guess, helps working on the equipment a little bit and helping his brother out and stuff. And anyway, this tractor here my friend bought because all the older tractors, like the John Deere I have out there, the 4430 that I showed a video on, was originally purchased by my friend's dad and his uncle back in the 70s. And they just, man, it's ragged out. And anyway, so my friend, he went and bought a new tractor, and they're doing very good at ragging it out too. But anyway, the condenser that blew up, I don't know if it had a leak in that corner and was, you know, had a crack there to start with. I have no way of knowing that. I have not found a leak yet. I've had these gauges on here for about 12 hours and I still have pressure on them. But they were saying it wasn't cooling every day. It was losing its cooling capacity. And my friend, he drives a truck there that I'm working on too. And they called him the other day and said they were out trying to do hay or whatever. My friend's dad did. And so they started putting some Freon in it and they blew the condenser up. So that cost him $400 right there because they put too much Freon, or it could have been already cracked. I don't know that for sure. But anyway, that's what went on. But the condenser is $400. And so I got that stuck on there, and we're gonna get the dash and everything put back together inside of there, get it cleaned out. And he's trying to keep this thing going decently, I guess, but seems like they tear up about as much as he tries to keep fixed about half the time. We put some new shift cables on it here a while back. I don't like the shifters on these New Holland tractors, the T4s. See these cables here? We put all of those on there because they pull apart where they're crimped at because it won't go in gear sometimes, and his folks snatch on it and it pulls the cables out of the crimps. It's not a very good design. Instead of being a direct linkage, I don't like it at all, and that's probably the one reason that I would not buy one of these New Holland tractors is because of that. And it just makes the shifter feel really floppy here. This is your shifter here, and it's got, I mean, I don't know, I just don't like the feel of it. It's not the feel of a direct linkage, and for a tractor that costs $65,000, I feel like they could have done a better job. This is all plastic down in here. Inside of here, it's all plastic stuff. None of it's metal. It just doesn't feel very well made for what the tractor cost. I'd probably go with something that had a direct linkage, but he didn't know that at the time, or he probably would have as well. But that's just another thing that we have had to do on this. All right, guys, check this out. I found the leak. I got the evaporator cleaned out. I sprayed it down with degreaser and then rinsed it off with some brake clean. And look what I see right there at the top of it. I got a UV light here I'm gonna put on it, and I got dye in it. You see that pinhole right there? Let me turn the light off on the camera there. You see the dot right there, the green dot, right in the center of the screen? That's the dye I put in there. I put some UV dye. You can see it leaking out right there. So it's just a small leak, but it's definitely a leak in the system right there. See it in the center of the light there. If I put the light off to the side, the camera picks it up a lot better. But anyway, so it definitely had a leak in the system, and so they just added too much Freon to it and blew the system up, blew the condenser up by putting too much Freon in it, because they thought the more Freon you put in it, the more it cools, which is not the case. You reach a point where you get too much Freon in it, and it can't turn into a vapor when it goes through expansion valve, and so it won't cool. So anyway, that's what they did, was they put too much Freon in it and blew the system up, or blew the condenser up. And part of that was because the evaporator was clogged up with stuff, was the reason it wasn't cooling very well, even with the proper amount of Freon. So they kept putting Freon in it thinking that was the problem, and so they blew the condenser up. So anyway, now we got to get a new evaporator core and put in here and fix this. So anyway, that's about all I can think of now. We did do one other thing yesterday. His gooseneck trailer that he hauls us on, wired up one of those. It had vacuum over hydraulic brakes, older trailers, mid-90s or something like that, I think. I'm not sure. but had vacuum over hydraulic brakes, which they haven't used that in years, and I'm not even sure even in the mid-90s if it was that common. But he bought one of those electric over hydraulic setups for it, and basically you just disconnect your hydraulic line from your vacuum booster up under the trailer and connect it to your electronic hydraulic pump on the tongue of the trailer that you mount. And his uncle mounted it up, but he had no clue how to wire it up, and so they attempted to wire it up. They couldn't get it working, so they brought it over here, wanted me to look at it, and took me a couple hours to figure out what was going on. Not so much as with the pump, that was pretty straightforward, but with the lighting on the trailer that they had done. His uncle, I think his uncle's the one that wired some of those wires in the 4430, but he'll start off with one color wire. It'll be like a white, and he'll change it out, splice a red wire in there, and then he'll go back to like a green or something. And I mean, some of the wires change color like 3 times in 3 foot, just whatever wire he's got laying around, I think. So that's kind of what he's did on the trailer as well. It took me a minute to figure out to get the left to right turn signals and everything to work. It was kind of a mess, but anyway, I got it going, got it soldered up and done up right out there last night in the dark. So got that done. I'm gonna get in here and get this cleaned out and get it put back together, and we'll see you guys next time.